Welcome to another episode of On the Road NIMBY Tips. I'm here in one of my favorite haunts, Louisville, Kentucky, and today's tip is I'm not a NIMBY. These are the folks that show up at a public hearing opposing a project and are giving their reasons to the elected body. And then somewhere in that 3 minutes, they say, look, I'm not a NIMBY, but I'm against this particular project. The tip is look out for these folks because they're not showing themselves for the first time at the public hearing. You know, leading up to those hearings, which is very important, there'll be a series of tips on how to have more successful hearings. Is these folks show themselves on social media, letters to the editor, guest columns. Um, they throw their own meetings, and they're leading the way in opposing your project. So when they do come up to a hearing and say they're not a NIMBY, well, the evidence typically is counter to that. You know, they're going out of their way to oppose you. And so these are individuals, men and women, Democrats or Republicans, or somewhere in between, that feel compelled to come out in public to oppose your project. And then to say that they're not a not in my backyard type, as if they're being insulted by that label, is hypocritical on some levels, and also they don't have as much credibility, and that's the key and the tip here. Try to find out who these individuals are earlier in the process of your application, ideally even before you file an application, and try to discern whether or not these are people that can either be negotiated with vis-a-vis with constructive concessions, or do they need to be confronted in some kind of public forum to really test their motivation. Yeah, because typically it's not a sincere motive in opposing your affordable housing project, mining, renewable energy, or just infill, redevelopment, you name it. These are people that are really driven by their own ego, and it doesn't take much to expose them. So that's it. That's the NIMBY tip. Don't wait for these people coming up to the public here and saying, I'm not a NIMBY, when in fact they are. And if you can find them ahead of time and engage them with proper citizen engagement tactics, you'll turn your NIMBY oppositions into YIMBY, yes in my backyard opportunities. See you next time. And before you go, if you like this video and you're on my YouTube page, please hit subscribe and like. Help me with the algorithms. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.